December 2019, peer pressure. Basically everything is marketing. The freaks have the whole population. About 99% of people are these Baphomet terrors, and they come in a variety, but they're all terrors. And with their numbers, they use peer pressure. And with pretty much everything, there's this outward cover for it, and then the inside real thing that is being covered up. So when they talk about peer pressure, they're talking about pushing children to drink and smoke and do drugs, but that is not actually what peer pressure is for. Peer pressure is, IVF and C-section are for freaks to get pregnant and give birth with. It's not for normal women, but most normal women are a part of this. And so a lot of boys pretending to be women will go to great lengths to actually get pregnant. If they have Swyer syndrome, they can get pregnant. It's really sick. And boys that's what the appendix is. The appendix is actually a leftover womb in cisgendered males. But with Swyer syndrome, the appendix is actually a womb. It's sick. And anyway, they'll claim to have a bunch of abortions. They'll brag about all the abortions they've had. They never had one. They go to great lengths to get pregnant. Same with the dick girls. They can get pregnant too with IVF and C-section. And the worst part is, dick girls never had puberty. That's why they're pedophiles. They've never had puberty. It's disgusting, and they're on all kinds of hormones. Okay, I need to curb my crazy talk, but peer pressure. The castrati will yell that abortion is great and everybody should get abortions, but they never had any. It's a peer pressure tactic. They will constantly take Christ and God's names in vain because they want other people to do it too. They do this because they know they're doomed, they know they're going to hell, and they want to take real people down with them. And when we fall for their peer pressure, we doom ourselves. I think some things, when we copy them, we fall into a trap. You know the saying, the devil always knocks. The devil needs you to agree to something. He needs your permission, and he can offer something small, but it comes with an enormous price, your very soul. And these terrorists, I don't think they have souls to begin with. I don't think they have free will, because I don't think God made them. And so they'll act like they had a soul and free will, but I don't think they did. And they just try and lure and bait people into falling for their traps. I'll try and get less scrambled. Alright, peer pressure. So basically everything is marketing. The Baphos have the big numbers. They're all around you. They come in all shapes and sizes. Even the rarest one, they come in that shape too. But anyway, Jesus tells us to not go the way of the world. Don't try to be popular. Don't try to be rich. Anything popular, anyone in high esteem is an abomination to God. And at first it can seem hard to swallow if you're blind or asleep, but Jesus opened our eyes, and now we can see that everything's fake. It's all a lie, and the popular people are not what they say they are, and they're not what they're cracked up to be. They are hideous disasters. I don't even have time to get into stories that would take me 1,000,000 years and to only cover a part of it. But, yep, death to idols. They are fake. And so, anything popular, there's a reason why it's popular. It's because this is a satanic fallen world that is going to be burnt up within 10 years, I think. I hope. And those 10 years are rapidly speeding up, and I have a hard time dealing with the time thing, but anyway. Terrorists will gang up on humans, and not only that, but in their groups, they will be very cliquish, obviously, because being exclusive and secretive is a Baphomet thing. Humans hate secrecy, we hate cliques. We hate to exclude others unless we absolutely have to, and we only exclude terrorists. And well, the terrorists will just promote this idea of what's popular, having abortions, taking God's name in vain, cursing Jesus, being a horrible person, being a slut, having tattoos and piercings, and vandalizing yourself, and being really fat. Fat people are some of the worst people I've ever met. I'm just going to come right out and say that. Fat people have been some of the meanest bucket crabs I've ever met. They are hostile, they're rude, they're nasty, and the Bible speaks out against them too. So, yeah, you shall know them by their fruits. And so, with these freaks being the majority, they're using their peer pressure on humans. But here's the thing, no matter what a human does, a freak will always hate us. They will always exclude us. They will always cast us out. We will go to great lengths to be popular and loved, but that's not part of the package. It doesn't matter how much we imitate the popular people. how much we do what's popular. They hate us because we're human. And Jesus said that the world hated him without a cause. The world hates us without a cause. I think there is some way that the freaks can identify us on sight. I compare them to a video game AI a lot because a video game AI has no brain of its own. It's just an idiotic thing that cheats, and then glitches out. These freaks, they cheat, and they glitch out, and they stop working. So we have that to look forward to when they glitch out one last time. They're broken, that's for sure. And you know how there's only one player character in a video game and tens of thousands of NPCs, and they're all coming at the main character and they're all cheating? Yep. Another example of peer pressure, and I'm going to have to be careful how I phrase this because this is extremely taboo, but in our instincts, we find feces and anuses and incorrect body parts abhorrent, repulsive, and, well, feces and anuses are just simply a part of life. It's a part of biology, but then you get the weird stuff that should not exist. It exists because it can. Everyone's wondered, why do men have nipples? Why do women have clits? What does the appendix do? It's all interconnected, and that is how the freaks figured out how to force girls to grow dicks and force boys to not grow dicks, and then they have vaginas, and it's hideous. There's a name for these, but we have been so conditioned to just accept these abominations as a part of everyday life, and that's the world we live in. And there's just so much stuff we're swarmed with, like butt sex jokes and pedophilia jokes in cartoons aimed at toddlers. I mean, how many ancient cartoons have images of butts being poked with sticks and that kind of humor? What do you think that was aiming at? Anyway, so the freaks all get together in their group. They're so horrible. They just attack us out of nowhere. They insult us out of nowhere. They can't not insult us because they're driven to do it. The word NPC is starting to get banned because NPC has become a slur. Isn't that bizarre? A name for video game characters that you don't play as has become a slur. So, you might want to watch where you use it. And, well, just all of these freaks, they're so shallow and one-dimensional. They literally are background characters. Their whole entire lives revolve around keeping up an illusion, lying about who they are, but sometimes they'll tell the truth as if they were joking, or they'll slip out something that they regret slipping. And all they do is take pharmaceuticals and watch TV and go shopping. They never do anything valuable, and they will go to great lengths to try and send a human to hell. They are really shallow. If they claim to be Christians, they're guaranteed to be very bad straw men. Like, think of all of the pastors that are obvious thieves. They clearly pocket all of the donation money. Their charities are a scam. They're inverts. They're married to screeching men in dresses. They steal money. They hurt children. I mean, in Westboro Baptist Church is obviously a big straw man. Here's the thing, though. They're also telling the truth. This is going to be really difficult, but let's see. They use their numbers to try to get people to follow the crowd. They want people to think that they too can be popular and accepted, which is, to us, being loved is more valuable than money, and there's no love in this world because all the people, there's only a few of us, and we're all a million miles apart from each other pretty much, and we can't contact each other. We're all on our own. We're all isolated away from other people. And now we're just shouting into the void, hoping to connect with another person somehow. But anyway, the freaks know we want to be liked. And they act as though if we do what they're doing, they'll like us. But they reject us. Nothing we do is ever good enough for them. And see, they just hate us for no reason. There's no point in trying to get their acceptance. Their love doesn't exist. They don't have hearts. They have something that looks like a heart, but it's fake. I don't know. You know, some of them move like animatronics. Like, I don't know what to think about the organic robotoid thing, but some of them act like robotoids and they have those white googly eyes. They move their mouths like a robot. They move their necks like a robot. They don't move like a flesh and blood person. I don't know. I don't know what to think. Anything's possible at this point. You have to let go of your preconceived notions and accept that there's some insane stuff that's possible, but we were not allowed to know about it until now. And so I rambled a bunch of stuff in an attempt to make an introduction to what I'm going to talk about, which is not going to be easy, but we instinctively know that anything to do with butts and poop is horrible, and we hate it. And people should not have the incorrect parts, but they do. And the reason why people claim that they support a certain movement is because they want to be accepted or they don't want to be yelled at, and they're just trying to cover up their butts so they don't get yelled at for being uncool and for having backwards wrong thinking and stuff like that. And then the Red Lodge and Blue Lodge stuff ties into this. I don't really know exactly how, but this movement is very much a Blue Lodge movement, and I'm gonna avoid saying its name, which it has many. Oh, I have an idea. Let's call them the Flood Crowd. Yeah, the Flood Crowd. Anyway, maybe the best way I could do this was to try and talk about a personal story, but even that would take forever. Well, the freaks are a part of the Flood Crowd by their very design. They were born into it. They were created for this part. I know of a person who says that it is not a she, it's a he, but he's pretending to be a girl, and his quote-unquote sister came from IVF, and this person in particular, they have like a bunch of usernames that have basically 3 words and some mixing and matching of the words in their usernames, but they always involve the word devil and 666. That person is proud to be an IVF baby, and his quote-unquote sister is also an IVF baby, and I don't know of any other test tube babies that have come out and said what they were, but these two, I think that speaks for itself. Anyway, I think that's where a lot of them come from, and that's why they are the way they are. Anyway, they are the popular kids, note that word. They hate Jesus, they hate God, they hate the Bible, but you never see them bashing on Islam. Well, sometimes you do, but it's rare. If they say they want to be spiritual, first it'll cause them to fight amongst each other, because some want to be spiritual but not Christian, and others want to be complete atheists without spirituality, and so they just kind of attack each other over that. If they want to be spiritual, they will look for some so-called religion that already exists, that already fits what they want, but these aren't really people. They're freaks that shouldn't exist, and they fight each other all the time. December 2019. Life is pointless. Everything is kind of an illusion. The stuff you see on TV or in media is 100% illusion and fake and fabricated, but the stuff in real life is not what it seems. It's not illusory, but it's not what it seems. It's counterfeit, that's the word. It's some cardboard model standing in the place of something supposedly real, but there is no real thing. There's only a cardboard model, and a really crappy one at that. We must have been under a magic spell because it was so unbelievably stupid to have fallen for something so badly made, very poor quality fake deception. And the real kicker is that in my memories from being a toddler, I could see the truth. I could see the cross-dressers, I could see the implants, I could see the horrible I could hear the voices, and I just knew in my heart what the truth was, but it got crushed out of me. I'm probably going to talk about peer pressure a lot. Well, what more could there be said? I used to really want to pursue certain hobbies and maybe a certain career path, but now I understand that you have to be a part of the satanic system to get a job in the career path, and even cisgendered women a part of that career path. They are required by their job to depict inverts. They're not allowed to have cisgendered people. It's infuriating. These are actual women in this career field, and they have to draw inverts as a part of it. They cannot draw depictions of real people, unless as a background character who usually gets trashed on. And most cis women will just complain nonstop about lack of representation and lack of respect, but they're a part of this system. They support it, they bought into it, they perpetuate the system, so why are they complaining? Maybe they never should have done it. I do think that they can't get out of it. I think that something small that seemed harmless lured them into the system. Some bait, something small that looked harmless, and they gave the devil the okay, and a trap fell on them. Just a little piece of bait sprung this huge trap on them, and I think they lose their soul. I think that they become slaves to somebody that isn't them. They can't escape the system. Once they join it, they can't turn back. and a lot of them become very self-destructive past that point. I think it's because they've lost their soul, they've lost autonomy, they've lost free will. I don't even know if there's a person in there anymore, but it's really upsetting. Anyway, I don't have a clear point. I tried to say some stuff, but I just freaked out a little too much. I'm having a bad day. I am having not just a day. The past few years have just been terrible. It's more than a bad day, but I'm so used to it, but I just want it to end. Every single day it's the same thing. Nothing. Every day, nothing happens, nothing gets accomplished, nothing useful is done. I mean, I'm just shouting into the void because I'm bored. I do this because I'm bored, and because I need to be involved. If I want to get saved, if I want to go to a better world, I have to do my part. This is what I have, because I'm not going to tell you about my situation, but it's pretty bleak. I'm used to it, but at the same time, I can't handle it. You know, sometimes it's better to just be dead. I don't advocate suicide, but it's sometimes better to just be dead. But I'll just do what I can to try and maybe, possibly, make a little bit of a difference. Anyway, life is full of peer pressure. I just can't find a good way to talk about it. Maybe I'll say, nobody thinks butt sex is cool. Nobody thinks it's beautiful like a rainbow. Rainbows are beautiful. Girl dicks and poopy just is horrible, okay? Girl dicks and wrecked anuses and poop are not beautiful. Child abuse is not beautiful. What happens to their faces is not beautiful. What it stands for is not beautiful. And they're associating this with a rainbow. It's a form of mockery. And we are inherently repulsed by it. We find it hideous. We hate it inside in our instincts. And yet, through peer pressure, because of all the popular kids are receiving this stuff, look at their faces. Look at their eye bags. Do you know why they wear makeup and perfume? The makeup is to cover the eye bags. The perfume is to cover the fact that they piss and shit themselves constantly. They cannot control their bowels. I am not joking. That is what perfume is for. Perfume is to cover the fact that they shit themselves because they've been abused at a young age. This is why you're not allowed to criticize the rainbow crowd. The flood crowd. You're not allowed to criticize them because they are all doing this stuff. They do it to their children. They're all in on it. The worst part is, it happens a lot in common society. Drugs are involved that cause memories to not be formed. Do you realize how many people are actually abused, but they've been unable to form memories, but they remember reacting to abuse? There's this dark spot where they can't remember what happened, but they remember reacting to it. And you know, the people you're not allowed to criticize. Now, it's been pointed out that there's this cycle in society. There's going to be a dog whistle. Okay, they plan these things out for decades. I don't know how, but they do. And, okay, the pedo scare, alright. In the 80s or something like that, there'd be all these, oh, watch out for pedos, whistleblower stuff that people got sick of. They just kind of go, alright, all of the media are yelling about watch out for pedos, we're tired of it. And then things go quiet for a while. And then 20 years after the whistleblowing, there's this big come out of pedos getting called out, I don't know, just to normalize it, make people go, oh, it turns out all these famous people are pedos, it must be a common thing. And then after that, they push for common pedo acceptance. Now, they did this with gays, you know, like watch out for gays, watch out for gays. You know, these people are all straw men. If they pretend to be Christian, they're going to be straw men, and they're all gay. So they do this trick where they pretend that they're a marginalized minority. They pretend that they're being oppressed. But the truth is, they are running the show. Even in Saudi Arabia, even in the UAE, all over the world, even in Africa, gay people are running the show. They are in charge. Look at their faces. And I don't even know how to break that down. They put on a show. It's like a circus. You know, the circus is a circle or a ring. The circus is a ring, a circle, and everything is a circus. And yeah, just quit paying attention to it. Just get out of there. Stop paying attention. I don't even have a point. I'm just rambling. I'm trying to say stuff, but I don't even know how to put it. So I will just leave you a pile of thoughts and sort them out yourself. I am at the end of my rope. I am just so done. But it doesn't end. I am so done, and yet it never ends. Every single day, I am still here. And I'm just hanging by, but I want it to end, but it won't end. And it's horrible. It needs to end, and it won't.